What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to take a look at this brand new 2020 Chevrolet Silverado 2500 HD. Huge shout out and thank you to Randy Marion Chevrolet for providing this truck for today's video. They have a massive selection of all the 2020 Silverados, so definitely check them out. And be sure to comment on today's video. We are giving away a GoPro for the month, and your comment on today's video will be your entry in for a chance to win. So let's get into this brand new HD. And the model that we're looking at today is an LTZ crew cab finished off in shadow gray metallic, has the Z71 package and an MSRP at $74,000. Underneath the hood, this utilizes a 6.6 liter Duramax turbo diesel engine that cranks out 445 horsepower at 2,800 RPM and 910 pound-feet of torque at 1,600 RPM. The engine is paired to the Allison 10-speed automatic transmission and sends the power to the rear wheels through a 3.42 rear axle. And given this power plant, you're looking at a 3,500 pound payload and an 18,500 max towing capacity. If you do opt for a 3,500 HD, you can get all the way up to a max towing at 35,500 and a payload at 7,400 pounds. This 2020 Silverado happens to be the crew cab with the shorter bed, and it has an overall length at 250 inches with a wheelbase at 158.9. The turning circle is 42.7 feet. We get an overall height at 80.2 inches with a ground clearance at 10.12. And then the bed length for this configuration is 80.2 inches. The 2020 Silverados have a great new look to them. This has a large chrome bumper in the lower portion, features 4 parking sensors all throughout. You have 2 black steel hooks on each side of the lower bumper with LED fog lights on the side of those. The upper grille is finished off in chrome and has Chevrolet written out throughout it. There's a forward-facing camera underneath the R. You get your Z71 badge over on the right side, and then chrome mesh in the center and the upper portion of the grills. This has LED headlights as well as LED daytime running lights in them. The lower portion of the headlights have really cool contours. There's even a carbon fiber piece over on the inside giving it a really cool look. And I like the 2 different LED beams that just give it a great look. Some of the body color protrudes into the front bumper as little fins, which really make it look aggressive. As we make our way to the hood, there's more chrome trim and the functional intake duct that allows air to go into the cold air intake to maximize the efficiency of the turbo. And then on the front bumper on the driver's side in the lower portion, there is even a power outlet. Moving our way to the hood, there's more of that boxy design to it with nice sharp lines all throughout the center and on each side. We have the Z71 badge in the front fenders and plastic trim around the wheels. There's chrome trim on the lower sections of the side windows, as well as some chrome trim on the door handles and the mirror caps. On the bottom sides of the mirrors, these feature a camera to improve visibility and trailering. These are tow mirrors, and by the press of a button, they will extend outwards a few inches for better visibility around large trailers. You have LED lights in the top side of the front portion of the mirror, and then swinging around we have more LEDs in the back side, and then a dual mirror configuration for maximum visibility. This truck also features ventilated disc brakes in all 4 corners. We have 20-inch wheels all around, finished off in a brushed aluminum, and that's all wrapped in a Goodyear Wrangler all-terrain tire. And then continuing with the side profile of the truck, we get a step in front of the rear wheels to make it easier to get in and out of the side of the bed. Along the rear bumper, it wraps around the rear end of the vehicle, and there's another step on the side, so once the tailgate is down, it's very easy to climb in and out of the truck. And then moving to the rear end of the Silverado, we have LED headlights that have a cool contour in them, just like you saw on the headlights. We have Chevrolet stamped into the tailgate with LTZ and Silverado badges, another chrome bumper to match the front. We have 4 more parking sensors in the back, your trailer hitch below that. So there's a good look at the 2020 2500 Silverado HD. Definitely a great looking truck all around. Real quick to take a look at the tailgate, all you have to do, as you saw in the other clip, just press the button, it electronically unlocks, a soft opening feature to make it very easy to open and close. This truck does have the Dura bed liner. It also has LED lights in here, 112 volt outlet, and then 12 bed tie downs. And this tailgate is also extremely light, one-handed, very easily. We can go ahead and close it. But that about wraps up going over some of the maximum capabilities of this truck as well as the overall looks. The front end is mean looking. It is so aggressive out on the road. It definitely has some really good road presence. Now to go ahead and take a look at the interior, I'm going to go ahead and lock the truck. And with it locked, we can then double tap the engine start stop button, and we'll go ahead and start up the diesel. The 6.6 Duramax roars to life, and you also do have a button on the key fob to open the tailgate, and then just tapping that button once again, we can go ahead and shut it off. And then keeping the key fob in my pocket, all I have to do is go up to the door handle and pressing that button, it'll automatically unlock. And then as we start with the door panel, we have a nice padded armrest with some stitching to it. There's also the darker color and more stitching on the top. Your release handle is located right here with lock and unlock, as well as the memory seating for the power seats. We have your window controls and then your mirror controls. We have a wood grain trim piece right here with your grab handle, and then a little bit of storage down below. We also have a Bose audio system. An aluminum trim piece is on the door sill with all of your power controls for these electronic seats. These are heated and cooled seats as well, finished off in the lighter brown leather. The perforated leather is in the center for the coolers. They have a nice look to them, very premium looking interior. Then we have the darker color on the steering wheel, finished off in soft leather. And then now inside the truck, all I gotta do is put my foot on the brake. We can tap the engine start stop button. If it is a cold start, it'll take a second just to warm up the glow plugs, and we can fire it up. We have cruise control settings over on the left side. Pressing the button right there will adjust the gap adjustment for the adaptive cruise control. We have the heated steering wheel button right there. And then moving to the right side, we have Bluetooth and hands-free controls. These buttons right here will actually control the center screen. You can rotate left and right, and then roll this dial up and down to scroll through everything. Just scrolling through, we can see the fuel filter life, other information like that. We have pitch and roll and your all-wheel drive system, the DEF, more options, and then back to the top we have trip information. We can scroll through that, oil life, tire pressure, basically everything within the truck, which is great to see, especially when you're utilizing this for towing. And then scrolling to the left, we have a home menu, all the information, we have music, and then your navigation will pop up, then your phone, and then we can go into settings and configure a lot of things like that. And then on the back side of the steering wheel on the right side, these are your volume controls. You just tap them up and down. And on the left side, the same type of buttons for your scrolling through the different radio stations. All of your windshield wiper controls are up here with automatic high beams. Your gear selector is right there. We have a plus minus, which is great for towing. You can engage the gear and hold it a little bit better. And then now in reverse, we can take a look at all the backup camera settings. Right now, your standard backup camera pops up. You can get a really good view, very HD. Tapping this icon right here, we can now take a look at the forward-facing camera, seeing what's going on in front of the truck. Tapping this button over here, a full top-down view. You can see my camera bag sitting there. Going into here, more of a 360 view to see around the truck. Onto this menu, we can see right behind the vehicle. Tapping it again, a little bit closer view. This right here has a top-down view as well as looking behind. And with that one lit, you can see now going to these different menus, the top-down will stay illuminated. We also have one for the bed to see what you got going on in there, and then one for the trailer hitch to see that. Over on the left side of the steering wheel, we have trailer and four-wheel drive controls. We can turn this to the left, the trailer icon comes up on the screen, and then going over to the right, we have an off-road mode, and then into normal mode. We have the four-wheel drive selector with an automatic. We have two-wheel high, four high, and four low. This button is for the LEDs in the bed, and then you have the dimness of the interior lights as well as all of your headlight controls and fog lights as well. We have some brown leather and stitching on it, more of the same design on the top of the dashboard. We even get a little cubby spot in the center. Your heads-up display system is right there. Then taking a look more in depth into the screen, this is your main menu. You just hit home to get to that main menu. We have a settings. You can go through a lot of the different settings within the truck. You can change everything you need to do. Your apps as well with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. We have shortcut keys down here with a mute, going into phone, navigation, and then right here is all of your climate controls that pop up right on the screen. We have a back button as well as radio controls and your volume and on-off. Below that, we have all the climate control settings. Heated and ventilated seats right here with different zones and different temperatures. You can sync the dual zone climate control. You have an LCD screen to show you that, the different temperatures, all your different modes, as well as the AC and the defrosters. Below that, we have the exhaust brake icon. You can make that active or deactivated. And then we have a lane keeping assist button, the parking sensors you can turn on and off. You can automatically open the tailgate from back here. We have traction control and an outlet as well as a downhill control. Looking right here, we have the trailer brake assist. You can just press this to change the output and gain that you would like on everything. We have some USB ports as well as more power outlets. And then below all that, we have wireless phone charging and a lot of storage. 2 cup holders with a piece in the center as well. A nice looking armrest with more of the leather and stitching and a little cuppy spot right here. Just pressing this button right there opens up. This has a ton of space in here. We have the navigation SD card as well as USBs and an auxiliary, and this is illuminated. Closing that up, this has 2 different glove boxes. You can see more of the color. Opening this up, a nice size for smaller items, and then going into the traditional glove box. This has a lot of space. We even have a hitch adapter for a standard class 2 trailer hitch, which is nice that it has that. And then just one last look at the interior. Very nice design to it, right in the family with Chevrolet trucks. I like all the colors. Up top, this model does have a sunroof. All the controls are right here, as well as the garage door openers. And then the button in the center will actually slide the automatic window in the rear. And then before we hop in the rear end of the truck to see the space, you can see these LEDs lit up on the side mirrors. They are extremely bright. And then taking a look at the bed here, you can see the LEDs lit up as well a little bit, as well as two of the cameras back here, and then a nice piece of glass. Going ahead and opening up the door, we have a very similar door panel just like you saw in the front with the two-tone colors, a little bit of storage in here as well, same color seats and everything like that. One thing very cool with Chevrolet, if you open these up, we actually have a lot of access in here, which is really nice. You can fit some extra items. You have that on both sides, and then pulling the centerpiece down, this reveals a nice armrest with some cubby spots for water bottles as well as a phone slot. And then climbing into the back of the Silverado, this is a big truck, so you'd expect it to have quite a lot of space, and wow, it does. So we'll go ahead and close the door now. I have the driver's seat set to my height, which is 5'11". I have like 8 inches in front of my knees. My feet fit nicely behind the seat as well. And then we have a really good armrest over on the left side. Extremely roomy back here, a lot of glass. Very comfortable sitting back here. As we take a look at the center, this was a nice armrest, and then even these headrests will actually fold down for better visibility for the driver, which is a great touch. Back here we do have some amenities like heated seats. We even get USBs, and then a 12-volt, and then 2 climate vents down here. 2 more cup holders back here, which is really nice to see, and then the grab handles right there. As far as the seat configuration, just pulling this up, you can get these out of the way. They lock in place. We have a little bit of storage down here, and you can just see how much usable space you would have to put larger items in. And then just grabbing it firmly, we can lock it down. So I'm going to start the test drive right here. This is a big truck. The 2500 is definitely a usable vehicle, and it has some size to it. I'm not the tallest guy in the world, but I'm not short either. 5'11". You got to step into it. So it's nice you have that grab handle. I would definitely get some running boards on this. But already in a parking lot, you can tell it's got some size to it. Pretty good turning radius though, and the steering wheel is actually very light. The backup camera is amazing. I love all the different views. Having the top-down view, I can really see every single thing going on. I can even see where my tires are going. And I like how it stays up actually now that I am back in drive. So even just navigating in the parking lot, pretty normal to drive. You gotta turn the steering wheel a few rotations comparing it to a normal car. But if you're buying this truck, you obviously are very used to big trucks like it. Getting out on the road now, 910 pound-feet of torque. Wow, and that was like this much throttle getting right up to 40 miles an hour. Wow, I have seen a lot of videos with these trucks and they are pretty powerful. Wow, 910 pound-feet of torque. That's what you're using with a diesel vehicle. Even taking a turn like that, suspension does very well. Wow. That acceleration is insane. The throttle response is like instant. You barely gas it, barely getting to 2,000 RPM, and it just starts taking off. It's crazy. This is fast. If you were to drive this just like a normal truck or a normal car even, you would give some sports cars a run for their money as far as straight line performance. But while this is not a sports car by any means, that is pretty neat. Coming to a stop, the brakes do a good job. We get the discs all around, which is really nice for a truck like this. It's going to do a really good job. Just getting up now, the visibility is actually very good. I think pickup trucks mainly always have really good visibility. You're sitting in a really good position. I can even make the seat go a little bit higher if I'd like. But I like how you have the cool contours on the dashboard, which just look nice. And then the hood, you can see all that hood. You can even see the Duramax logos on the side, which is just a nice touch. The mirrors do a fantastic job, especially with the 2 different pieces of glass. And then looking through the rear view, that also does a really good job. As far as this 10-speed Allison transmission goes, as we get up to some speed, you don't feel the gear change. You barely even hear the gear change. It just does what you need to do. I don't feel it fighting gears or anything. And actually really cool, the lane keeping assist, as I went over that little bit of line, the seat on the left side vibrated just a little bit, and I believe if I get to the right side, the same thing happens. It vibrates over here, and even if you are backing into a space and the parking sensors are going on, the back of the seat will vibrate. So it's nice how they use that type of feedback in this truck to warn you as a driver what's going on in every corner of the truck. But back to normal driving, this is so comfortable. I mean, it's quiet, you don't really hear the diesel, but you hear it enough. I know some newer diesel trucks, you don't even hear it, and these sound way different than a gas truck, and I think diesel owners, you want to hear a little bit of that noise, a a little bit of the turbo spooling. So I like how you can hear some engine up there, which is a good amount. It's not intrusive to make this an annoying, loud, uncomfortable drive like diesels from way back in the day, but it's just enough to make you enjoy that. But road noise, wind noise, comfort like that, it's very smooth. The suspension is doing a really good job. And just getting on another road, we'll see some sharper turns. Pretty easy turning it on a turn like that. Slowly getting up to speed. That torque is insane. Barely giving a gas and we are gone. Even taking a sharper turn at 50 miles an hour now, this is actually very confident to drive, I would say. The steering is direct enough. I honestly don't even feel any body roll. It actually is very planted. You can feel the weight a little bit doing that, just kind of going into a turn and steering, but it's a truck, it's not a sports car. But I like how it is confident enough and composed enough to be extremely comfortable and normal to drive. And then just the overall fit and finish, I like what GM has done. All the buttons are very nice. I like how you have buttons on the backs of the steering wheel to actually control the radio. It just unclutters the face of the steering wheel. And then the buttons over here to control the screen. You pretty much have everything you need to see in that center screen as far as the performance of the vehicle. You have everything at a good view to see what you need to click on. It's nothing too cluttered, just like we found with the rest of the interior. And then yeah, I like how you have the shortcut keys as well. Climate controls, I'm glad they have stuck with physical buttons down here, just because it makes it a lot easier. The things you're gonna use all the time, you know, adjusting the actual temperature, adjusting the fan speed is right where you're gonna need it. Tight turn now, pretty easy to do. And then the fit and finish as far as the quality of materials, I think they use a really good blend of plastics and leathers just to make it a premium feeling truck. It's $74,000, so it's got a nice price tag. You better be getting something nice for your money. The steering wheel is very soft feeling. The armrests are in a great spot. Everything feels nice that you're gonna touch in the truck. Nothing's feeling cheap. It just feels like a very solid, built to last truck that you're gonna rack up 300,000 miles on, no big deal. And you're gonna run this truck through its paces and it's pretty much gonna do what you need it to do. And then another quick turn. I like the view out. I actually feel very high up, which obviously is a tall truck, but taking a sharp turn is confident. You wouldn't expect that in a ginormous pickup truck like this. So I think that is gonna wrap up then the 2020 Silverado 2500 HD. Once again, huge shout out and thank you to Randy Marion Chevrolet for providing this truck for today's video. They only have one 2019 left in stock, so they have all 2020s ready to go for the new year, and they have an insane selection of pretty much every trim level. That's another thing I like about Chevys. This is an LTZ. There are so many configurations and trim levels to exactly get the Silverado that is gonna work for you, which is really nice. But shout out to them. And then if you want to win the GoPro, be sure to comment on today's video. That will count as your entry into winning the free GoPro at the end of the month. But that is going to wrap up the Silverado. Give the video a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next video.